Hey everybody, so today I am just exploring. I'm in Arizona and I'm exploring some old mining regions all over the state this month. And I just wanted to point one interesting thing out. Some of you may have come across piles of rocks on hikes, or if you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, you might have come across random piles of rocks, and a lot of you probably know these piles of rocks just from hiking. Along hiking trails that maybe get a little covered up by brush, some people will build cairns. And those mark your trail and maybe mark a turn or something like that, help you stay on track. Well, these cairns are a little different. Sometimes if you're not on a popular trail, but you're just like route finding or in the middle of nowhere, especially in a place that was a pretty common mining district in the last 100 or so years, you might come across a pile of rocks on the side of a mountain and you might think, well, what is that? What's that? Well, that is marking something similar to the hiking trail, but that is probably marking maybe an old mining prospect. If somebody was out there walking around, they needed to figure out how to find the potential ore body that they may have just discovered, right? So they're going to have to basically, trudge through the brush again and come back and walk the sides of mountains and through washes and come back to the spot to find this potential mining region that they've potentially discovered. So they'll put up a pile of rocks. Now, in addition to that, some of the piles of rocks will even still have something like a stick or a post sticking out of the pile of rocks, and every once in a while, if it's not really been tampered with, it will still have like something, a marker, sometimes maybe even a glass jar that's attached to it, and possibly a piece of paper in it. Now, these were actually mining claims that marked the claim for those individuals, that said they had to do that to mark their mining claim. So that's basically what those piles of rocks or cairns are. Now, besides that, you might also come across some random piles of rocks like I just did today, and that's a remnant here. As you can see, it's not just a cairn. It looks to be an actual old structure. You look over here, you can see possibly the fireplace region there. Somebody used it, it looks like, as a fireplace. And if you follow it around, there's piles of rocks all over the ground here. So it looks to me like, yeah, there might have been a small structure here. Now, I don't see any mining holes around here. I am pretty much middle of nowhere. I'm not near any roads. I've been walking the washes here in Arizona, which is really fun to do. You get some cuts in the rocks that you can check out. Some cool granite pegmatites in here. So if you know anything about rockhounding, pegmatites are great. I'll talk more about that here eventually. But lots of fun rocks washing down in here. And I was in the wash down there and I just noticed this pile of rocks. I thought it was a cairn. I came up here and yeah, it was someone's kind of thrown together house. I mean, this could be as far back as the 1800s. It doesn't look like anybody's been here in a while. I see some cactus growing out of some of the rocks. That's a hedgehog there. But there is some plant growth here that indicates it would take a long time for some of these plants to grow. So this has been here for a while. I'm gonna look around and see what else I can find here. I did notice some metal pieces, some glasses here. So there's a piece of glass up there. The older glass is always interesting because it's super thick. But there was some colored glass too. Actually, when you find the purple glass, it's probably pretty old because the glass tends to actually shift colors. But yeah, let's see if you can, hard for me to, yeah, there's a nice big wash down there. So that's where I came up through. And as you can see, it's pretty inconspicuous. It's tucked right up in there. I went up through that brush. It's up there. I don't know. This is really interesting. I don't know the story, and I assume that the story is lost from this. But I'm going to head up the wash and up some of these hills and see what I can find. But I figured I'd just fill you guys in on that. If you've come across a pile of rocks, that's basically what's going on. So anyway, I'll talk more about mining and minerals and all that. I've been working on a minerals playlist here, so if you want to get into rockhounding, and find minerals, and definitely check out the playlist for minerals here. And otherwise, I'll be taking you along on all sorts of geo adventures here at Let's Go Geo. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.